Welcome back, the bench seat. We are in Miami, not Miami, Ohio, Miami, Florida, the good Miami. And as always, we are brought to you by MyBookie. Sign up for MyBookie. We're in the middle of March Madness.
We are.
The middle of it all.
Come on.
Sign up for MyBookie. Use promo code GrillGuy. Get half of your deposit matched. We need signups. That's what we need. We also need you to subscribe and like and all that.
And follow.
More about MyBookie later. We must address the elephant in the room. Mr. Niang this past week has gone quite viral for, I guess this is now the second time because I forgot you went viral for Paulo Banchero. You get caught on a hot mic, as they would say.
I mean, I don't even know if it's a hot mic. Like, who is leaked whatever? Because they're just like, who are they paying off to get this?
I know, it's impressive. It's
audio. I think it probably enhances viewership. I mean, so if we're talking about the league's viewership is down, like, sure, they want.
It helps. Can you first, number one, just walk us through like how that happened, and then two, there has been some backlash, not only in the comments, but
oh, really?
There has been. Other podcasts are talking about it a little bit, which we should get to.
Damn. Oh, damn.
So can you just walk us through like what happened?
First off, I mean,
that's not out of place.
I don't think that's out of character or out of line or anything like that. Like, I'm a competitor. Like, my bad. I didn't know it was my job to enhance or motivate or pump up the other team's tires to then compete against them. Like, I'm a competitor. Like, I'm a part of the Atlanta Hawks. Like, who's ever across from me, I don't want to make you feel any more comfortable than you already are out there. So if trash talking is what you have to do, then so be it. Like, you look at other guys on other teams, like, look how physical Dylan Brooks plays. That's his way of not letting other guys feel comfortable. And so the fact of the matter is Quinn Grimes was like making a point to like bring me up into the action. Like, oh, come have him switch on me. Yeah,
let's explain this in layman's terms. Basically, you're guarding somebody else.
So I'm guarding someone else, and he calls me up. He's like, hey, bring him up here because I don't think he can guard me, right?
So your defender or the person defending
my person I'm guarding sets a screen, we switch. Yeah. So we're switched, and I get out, and I'm being aggressive and physical because I don't want him to feel comfortable. The ref calls a foul, and then he makes a comment. You know, at that point I was,
into it.
Yeah, and he makes a comment, which...
What was the comment?
I mean, if the mic didn't pick it up, there's no need to really roll with it. I think he said something like, I'm going at you every time, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So then I said what I said because I'm not out there to be like, maybe you should go at me like that. Like, that's not who I am. Like, and that's what has gotten me to this point is being that edgy, fiery competitor. Like, if you think you're going to bust my ass, you're going to have to show me time and time again. Yeah. And I'm going to make it miserable for you because I'm going to verbally just... come at you. Like, I feel like that's okay because there's no need for it to go anywhere out of bounds besides the basketball part. Like, I didn't assassinate his character. I didn't talk about his family. I essentially just talked basketball terms. And then people are like, oh, why are you hating on him? And that's where I'm like, okay, so I'm supposed to be here to make this guy feel good. Like, obviously, Quinn Grimes is a great player. Like, he's really good, right? So I'm not going to sit here and make him feel even better about how he's feeling. Like, hey, Q, like, you're awesome. You've been killing it, man. Just keep coming at our team. Like, the Atlanta Hawks, if you're not wearing an Atlanta Hawks jersey, like, I feel like it's a representation of, like, every gritty fan that is, like, I'd be doing them a disservice if I was like, yeah, no, for sure. Go ahead and
talk your shit. First off, because it's the same people that are like, oh, today's basketball is so soft. And then they see something like this.
You're kissing and hugging, and then they're like, why is George Niang talking shit to him? And then I'm like, why are you in the comments talking shit to me? If that's how you really feel.
I hear you.
And I love my fans. I love everybody that gets on there and comments.
Of course.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, yes, I said that to Quentin Grimes, and I'm probably one of many people that have talked shit to him. But on my journey, the people that have told me, like, you'll never play in the NBA, like, you'll never do this, even coaches and, like, scouts, like, hey, maybe you should look at going to Europe. Like, oh, just because theirs wasn't hot mic'd, like, you know. So it's like everybody has to go through something, and I think the NBA is how long can you hold on to the rope and not quit and show up to work every day knowing that you're going to be disappointed, whether if it's with your playing time or whatever it is, and go until you get what you want. Like, my feet are to the fire. This is a tough situation, but I'm going to keep showing up till I get what I want. It may be in year 9, it may be in year 4, it may be in year 12, but I'm going to keep showing up, being a good teammate.
I mean, that's what's happening to Quentin Grimes, right?
Yeah,
he's now on his 3rd team in a year and a half, and he's playing great. First off, I'm sure that if he walked into the room right now, it would be love. Like, I'm sure you guys
and I think people need to understand, like, how aggressive and tenacious like guys are on the court. Like, at the end of the day, like, when we're off the court, it's all love. Like, I don't like hate you. I don't even dislike him. Like, you know what I mean? I actually have respect for him. He's a good player. But on the court, I don't want you to feel like you're walking down easy street. I don't want you to feel like you're sitting in your living room. I want you to feel like this is about to be the longest hour and a half of my life. Like, that's how I really want you to feel. I don't want you to like, I want every competitive advantage. I want it to feel easy for me. I don't want it to feel easy for you.
I love that. And like, because it's funny, we talked last episode about, excuse me, Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson talking about how like they pointed a finger in your face. And like, that's way worse in my opinion. What? That's way worse. And you took it in stride because you realized, shit, that's like what it is.
I missed a shot. You know what will get them back is if we play them again and I make a shot. Like,
exactly.
And don't worry, we play you guys April 5th.
5th, I think. We're going to be there for that. I also want to talk about like, so there has been a little bit of backlash just recently, like today. The clip dropped today. I saw
what you sent to me.
The Pat Bev podcast. Pat Bev did not like it. He thought it was taking it a little too far. What's your response to that? Like, again, I think you've kind of covered it at this point, but like, there's a lot of people that are just getting butthurt over what you said. Cause like, it dug deep. It dug deep a little bit, but it's not like it's basketball. It was never anything personal.
Don't take this stuff personal. Like that's what you need to be reminded. And Pat Bev, I'm a huge fan of the pod and the shit talking. So for you to say that I took it too far is like, Pat, when I was like a young rookie in Utah, you were trying to fucking crush souls. You know what I mean?
Was he on the Clippers?
Like, you can't do shit. Like, you can't. And then do people remember Pat Bev in Minnesota? I was in Philly and he would make some comments to the bench, like trying to splinter teams to... You know what I mean? So, like, he knows exactly where this is stemming from and coming from. And listen, I'm not trying to take away anything from Quentin Grimes' future, like, of like how he addressed it, saying like GMs will see that, like, I'll get back to the corner. Like, okay, but part of the NBA is you continuously prove yourself and what your capabilities are. Like, when I first came in, they were like, 14th, 15th guy. It took me 6, 7, 8 years to get in a rotation, to play in the playoffs. Like, so at the end of the day...
Also, he is proving, like, clearly no one... Like, it's not like you're delusional. You see this guy is playing great basketball. You're just trying to knock him off his pivot in that situation.
Yeah, come on, Pat. Show me a little love.
Shout out to Roan. Shout out to Pat.
Shout out to Pat Bev Pod,
They have a great podcast. I think Roan, and he's a friend of mine, I think he is, like, legitimately... And Pat said it on a clip, too. One of the most talented people. The guy can do anything. He's great. And Pat Bev is great. Obviously, he was the like Michael Jordan of your role, I think. Like the asshole, the shit talker.
Absolutely. Like, I'm close friends with Tyrese Halliburton. And the shit that Tyrese used to tell me that he would say to him, he just didn't get caught because leaked audio now has like a deal with the NBA that they can find all this. Like, I wasn't saying it at the free throw line. So like, hey, let me say this so the mic can catch it. No, it's probably so I can catch my breath at the free throw line, and I can't do it while I'm running up and down the court chasing him.
Whoever got that audio, go to more games. We need more of this because...
You know what? Roan and Pat should have like a segment of like each week that's like leaked audio and what they think about it, and like give us a breakdown analysis.
Or we should, because I'd love to hear... while we're talking about this, what is the worst thing you've said? Or you've heard someone say? It doesn't have to be what you said, but something you heard someone say. If you can keep it player specific, so like we don't know who it was said about or who said it.
Yeah.
Was there anything that was like really bad? I know like KG's famous one.
No, don't.
No. Oh, I'm not talking about the like cancer one. He said one about cancer.
No.
I'm talking about Joe Kim Noah when he walked up to him was like, "Hey man, I really respect you," and he's like, that's his hero. And KG was like, who the Do you think you're talking to? Just buried his dreams right in front of his face.
Yeah, that's.
You thought of another one.
No, I've had the rude awakening of having to do that. No, I'm not. I've never played against KG, but I mean, even like I don't take it personally, but like
they've said some
like
shit to you?
this year, for instance, like I've known Russell Westbrook for a while. I was lucky enough to work out with him in the summers, and one thing you have to know about Russ is like off the court and like outside the lines. If you're on his team inside the lines, it's like fun and games. If you're not on his team, like he's like, I'm trying to
killer.
Yeah. So I've worked out with Russ before, and people have been like, yo, inside the lines, like, don't be trying to do the stuff you do in the summer. Like, hey, what's up, Russ? Because that's just not how he's wired. So we were in Denver, and I was with Cleveland, and I was like, yeah, Russ, I see you over here. He looked at me. He was like, shut the fuck up.
Is it like embarrassing?
Yeah. Or like, I mean, guys are always jawing back and forth. Like, even like Jalen Brunson, when we were in New York, freaking, I had a black eye.
Yeah.
And I was like, I made some comment to him, and he was just like, yeah, you better watch it before I give you another one. And I'm just like,
what the fuck? Come on now.
Yeah, like okay, if that leaked audio got leaked, where people been in the comments like, oh, Jalen Brunson's really about to whoop.
Threatens to.
He's about to whoop George. So, I mean, I love trash talking. I think it's an art. I think it's part of the game to throw people off their game. And if you're not mentally tough enough to handle it, then like that's almost like not being able to shoot. Like that's a problem you should probably address.
One thing I like notice about you guys is like especially now with the pod, like I'm obviously watching every one of your games, and I'm specifically watching you. And when I see you miss a shot or miss two shots, in my mind, I'm like, fuck, because I'm a mental midget. That's why one of the many reasons why I wasn't a great athlete. The second I miss a shot, dude, it goes crazy. And all you guys, and like Sam Merrill is another one that I think is really good at it. It's like that shot before just doesn't matter to you guys. Yeah. And so I'm sure when you have someone talking shit, like most of you guys are built well enough to be able to handle a little shit talk.
Yeah, there's some shit talkers that have gotten to me, but I would never tell. You know who you are, but I'd never fucking tell, ever.
I'd like to hear that. Speaking of shit talkers, maybe we tease it. Maybe we can get another really good shit talker on this pod. Hopefully it can happen. We're in the talks, as they would say.
We're trying to make it happen.
Okay, speaking of a little shit talk, last night things got a little dicey, especially in that first half against the Rockets. I want to talk about the power rankings later, but they're second in the West. Like, you obviously a physical team. What's it like going against? Is it annoying? Yeah, because when you're watching it, it's like.
Let me ask you this though: has Ime Udoka been in the Coach of the Year conversation?
Do you think he should be?
I mean,
yeah.
Like, look at their team last year, and now look at them this year. I think it's
2 years ago he wasn't there. Last year was his first year, right?
Yeah, and they
in 2 years turned.
They didn't make the playoffs, right, or the play-in, and now like you look and see how he's developed. Amin Thompson. I mean, Tara Eason is great. I'm talking about guys that, didn't already have like established careers before they got to Houston. I mean, Fred VanVleet is always solid. He's like the biggest fucking thorn. I tell him this all the time. I'm like, you're the biggest thorn in my side. Like, there's always like a team you're on where we have a chance to like win, and you're always hitting some high arcing, big fucking shot or stealing the ball.
Just one of those guys that's so annoying.
But he's so solid. He fucking just goes to work every day, keeps it rolling, and so I respect him for sure. But yeah, that was it's a chippy game. Houston plays physical. They fucking have Steven Adams boxing you out on
Is there any part of you that's a little bit intimidated by Steven Adams, or you can't be?
What, that he's just like probably feels no pain?
Like he
just moves people. Like he doesn't like, a lot of people are like pushing into people to like box out. He just like opens his arms and like gets wide and just starts like
just can't move.
Moving back and forth. Yeah. So then you send two guys to box him out, and then one of those other athletic dudes is running in and dunking it.
Tough team to play against. Yeah, they're well-rounded. It seems like they have somebody at every position on the floor that can hurt you in some way. Like Sengun is a good player.
Yeah, Sengun, Dylan Brooks is hitting shots.
Obviously, Dylan Brooks.
He's playing well.
Jalen Green is like, he had so much hype coming out of high school, but is really like,
he's really turned the
that.
corner.
Yeah,
he looks really good. He had 30, and he was making a lot of tough shots.
That dunk he had, that little crossover dunk in the first half was pretty nice. So I guess, you're not going to be in the West, so you can talk about the West. Do you see them making some noise in the West, or do you think they're going to have a tough time against one of these like veteran teams?
The West has so many teams that it's going to be like matchup based, right? Obviously a team that kind of plays identical to them, like switching 1 through 5.
Do you think that'll be good for that? A good matchup for them, or a bad matchup?
I don't think that would be a real good matchup for them. But at the same time, they offer so many unique abilities with their offensive rebounding and how fast they play, and guys that can guard multiple positions that also might mess someone else up. I think anybody in the top tier of the West is not looking forward to playing Golden State. I know that, especially with Steph. So, that'll be an interesting dynamic.
Do you genuinely think, because it's like a lot of people talk about the Lakers and the Warriors as teams that can make noise, but do you really think they can win a championship? Because I think I have a hard time thinking they can.
Hey, pal, newsflash. Anytime you have a top 5 player on your team, you have a chance.
So you think both of those?
Okay, so
one of those teams has
Golden State has 2 top 10 players, or top 5, who's ever doing it. Both of them have 2 top 10 players on their team: Luka and LeBron, and Steph and Jimmy.
Yeah, it is scary to think that any of those teams can make a run. My throat is dry because last episode you said I look like a fat bowling pin, and so now I'm doing another 24-hour fast.
Really? You're not gonna have dinner tonight?
No, I ate last night at 6:30. So I'm hoping maybe afterwards we can go get some food, and it'll be we'll break my fast.
Dude, I don't know what you got going on.
You look lean in this camera. Okay, anyway. Speaking of lean, long and lean, Zachary Risachet. This guy is a beast. First off, Dyson Daniels too.
Yeah.
Dyson Daniels, Risachet, and I would have loved to see what this team looks like with Jalen Johnson, with how much better I think those two guys have gotten over the year. Dyson Daniels
and you never know, like with them being out, would it have allowed the development? Because you look at Dyson's career over in New Orleans, and like he's really been able to like grow and play through mistakes, and then you look at Zach, he's since January 1, you look at, since I got here, I'm like, wow, like you are so fucking talented.
Yeah.
And once you continue to put the mental pieces together and the physical tools, and then he gets a summer of like lifting and like not having to do like summer league draft process, like he can just hone in on like stuff that's going to continue to make him get better, and not trying to go to a new city or come to, America. It's going to be exciting. Like, and you look at both of those guys, like, and then you have the defensive player of the year, like Dyson Daniels. Like, we're not giving enough credit to a guard that is stealing the ball. Like, we haven't seen anything like this. Like, he's going to break a record that hasn't been touched. I think it was the 80s or something.
70s. He's also blocking a lot of shots.
Oh, really?
Dude, I don't know what his numbers are, but I'm just like watching. I'm like, this guy also protects the rim. He's head and shoulders leading in deflections. He's going to set a record for deflections. They only started, marking that in 2015. So he's going to be head and shoulders have that record. How could you give it to somebody else? I don't know. It's like, it's usually a big man's award, but if we're talking about somebody who is just like, he's having an all-time great defensive year, how is he not defensive?
Yeah, obviously my ex-teammate Evan Mobley, sorry, Ev,
sucks.
Recency bias. No, but he's a great candidate. I know they have Draymond in there. But I also wonder, like, sometimes the hype like switched. Like, nobody was talking about the Draymond being in the defensive player until like Jimmy Butler got there, and like Draymond's an unreal defender. But usually it's like to the public eye, it's some stat that sticks out that like makes it obvious.
Like your leader in blocks is usually who gets it.
And then you want to get back to Zach Richeche. I mean, Frenchie,
dude,
you're a star in the making. And you look at his competition. I think it's the kid Wells from Memphis, and then Stephen Castle.
And they're saying Sarr is rising again too because he's having some good games. I don't think Alex Sarr really has a great chance of winning it Rookie of the Year, but it's like he's making
Zach
great
is
case.
playing. Zach, like I said before, Zach is playing with other stuff, other guys that are going to get their minutes, are going to get their stats, and we're still winning games, and he's still being extremely effective and contributing to winning.
Yeah, it's fun watching him because obviously I didn't watch a ton of Hawks games before you got there, but just in the time since I've started watching, it feels like he's gotten so much better.
Beast.
Yeah, it's fun to see. Speaking of young stars, and speaking of Draymond said in his podcast that he thinks Cade Cunningham is going to bring a championship to Detroit. He feels like he's got the size, he's got the mentality. You've played Detroit a couple times. I know you're a good friend there. Tobias is there. Maybe they needed a vet presence, whatever the case is, and your old coach also. Do you think that is a legitimate possibility for Cade? Do you think he's that good? He's going to be. Yeah.
I mean, you look. He has size. He's like 6'8". He can pass. And then people be like, "Oh, well, his jump shot. Well, he's taking threes and making them.
Yeah.
And then the way he gets to his spots. I can definitely see that. Obviously, how soon I don't know because all that
There's a million things that go into
things
it.
that change all the time, right? But yeah, I've been significantly impressed in his growth. I don't want to say growth because I think he had it, but it's just like sometimes you need like a change. I don't want to say in leadership, but kind of just to like tap into that and be like, hey, I want you to focus on this. And while you're focusing on this, like all this continues.
Man, to see where they were last year, I mean, Nate McMillan could make an argument for Coach of the Year for how bad they were last year and this year. Isn't it Nate McMillan?
JB Bickerstaff.
Oh, I'm sorry. JB Bickerstaff. Yeah, you're old guy.
JB Bickerstaff.
And I just said your other coach. Anyway, he has an opportunity.
This is a sports podcast.
He has an opportunity. I mean,
you're
he's not going to win.
You're an idiot. We need to refrain from stuff like that happening.
I messed up a name.
Don't say the name.
Okay. In any event, he has an argument for Coach of the Year. They've had a huge turnaround. And it's reminiscent of like LeBron. That's what people said about LeBron when he first got in. He has no jump shot. He's 6'8", he's athletic, but he has no jump shot. He figured that out.
He sure did.
And, I think when you're that big and that athletic, you don't need to have a jump shot like in the lower levels. And then when you get to the NBA, you need
anybody that talks shit about LeBron is like, come on.
Did you see him on the McAfee today?
I respect it. He's kind of letting his hair down and saying.
He let it loose.
And saying, I love that because Pat McAfee makes you feel like you can get on there and say whatever. And like, he kind of, it's kind of like accepted, even if it's like not, even if it's not, you're not supposed to say that. They're like, well, it's the Pat McAfee show. So,
He's really cornered the market. But hearing some of his stuff is kind of crazy. Like, did you hear about the chocolate chip cookie story?
Hammer, dumb.
Did you hear about it?
No, what?
So Dwayne Wade went viral.
Oh, yes. And then Pat Riley wasn't letting him have chocolate chip cookies. Damn.
I know, that's fucked up. But he told the story and he's like, it's true. He's like, there was ladies that baked cookies. And one day, he had a routine. He would get on the plane, same seat, gamble after play little cards, whatever. And at some point,
hey, where are my cookies?
Where are my cookies at? And they were
so there ain't no cookies?
And they like looked at each other like, Pat Riley, there you go. Is it really little shit like that really bothers people? Like,
I mean, well, here's the thing that people have to understand is you're on the road quite a bit during the year, and people can say whatever they want about money and feeling comfortable, but there's some things that you gravitate to on the road that bring you comfort. And you kind of want to seek those things so that you can continuously play your best. And if for LeBron James, who is athletic, in great shape, was probably one of those things was cookies. Another one was probably like video games, like
wine, red wine.
So yeah, exactly. So if he's gonna perform, like you would be like, okay, well, we're cool with you having that.
Yeah.
And I think, and Miami has made a lot of guys' careers by having guys sacrifice literally everything and anything. And it's made a lot of guys who have played there a lot of money. And I mean, I didn't see the Pat McAfee show or I didn't get too in depth with it today. But
yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword because it's like you can think of it critically and be like, bro, you got that mad over cookies. And like LeBron didn't say he got that mad. And he didn't say, no, he didn't say that's why he left. But you can be like, man, it's like cookies. Who gives a shit? But the other side, it's like if you're LeBron, it's like, bro, I'm bringing you championships. And I can't have a fucking cookie. It's kind of like when they took the beer away from Luka. It's like, why would you embarrass him like that? Why would you make a thing out of like a dude having a beer? He's bringing you to the finals, I could see both sides of it. I could see a player being like annoyed by that.
Yeah, no, I think it's more of a pride thing.
Yeah.
Like,
you mean on like LeBron's side or on Pat Riley's side?
I think on both.
Yeah.
Like it's like who's more or less like who's the man here.
It's like a pissing contest.
Yeah, and I don't think it gets that deep.
Yeah.
But I also don't think like it has anything more to do that it's like the specific cookies or the specific beer. It's more or less like I'm the captain now.
Yeah.
And then
like
when when anyone has a chance to get it back where they can see this is mine. So I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, the way
it's so funny.
Stuff has played out for the Miami Heat, like they've had a lot of great players come through there. They've won championships. They've done things the right way. Just because, one cookie story comes out doesn't mean that like Pat Riley doesn't know what he's doing. Pat Riley has had a heck of a successful career.
He sure has. But it is kind of crazy just to think about like, all the little drama that we have as people in like the corporate world. You see that shit happening in the NBA too. Like in different instances. Obviously.
Yeah, like you talk about if people want to make a comment about the cookie thing, like I've heard people talk about how someone forgot to say thanks on an email, and you're like, I fucking hate them. Like,
or like Office gives free granola bars, and all of a sudden they take them away.
Yeah,
like that's
how cheap are we? It's like
you call your union.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about a couple players in the NBA. I just want to hear your take on it. Jason Tatum went down, sprained ankle. Tough to see, end of the year. They don't think he's going to miss too much time. My question is like, do players, when that happens to a team, and it's like, yeah, you'll be back, is there a lot of worry? Or is it like, nah, he'll be back by playoffs and we've already figured out our chemistry. You don't have to worry about that.
I think to a certain extent, but you also, health is something that holds people back from winning things. So you obviously are concerned and you want to make sure that your guys are healthy, because at the end of the day, I mean, someone missing games due to the fact that they can't perform to that level is
scary.
Yeah, I mean, especially when it's your best player or one of your best players, however anybody wants to look at it.
It's hard not to say. Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah, I mean, whatever, 1A, 1B, those guys are really fucking good.
Speaking of them, I saw something that was like, it's probably bullshit, but it was on the internet where it was like, there are rumblings that the front office is going to trade Jaylen Brown to whoever drafts Cooper Flag. Like they're already talking about it. Like whoever drafts Cooper Flag, Jaylen Brown.
You know what else
they
said? They said Cooper Flag's going back to fucking Duke.
Can you imagine?
No.
Like I'm sure he's getting a bag, but there's no way this dude.
First off, I don't think New Balance is like, they're like, you ain't wearing Nike one more fucking day.
Yeah, there's no way. He's coming out, and he is, we'll get to the NCAA stuff in a little bit. He is impressive.
Yeah.
He is like, there's not a lot of players when you watch college, and I'm like, I'm excited to see that player. Yeah. I'm excited to see him play when I see Duke. I'm like, oh, this guy's nice.
Yeah, I mean, the coolest thing is like, I was talking to someone the other day, and I was like, look, how hard he plays is so fucking impressive. And then I'm like, well, is he going to be like one of those guys that in the NBA that just plays hard and like it doesn't really? And then I'm like, wait a second. In the summer before he got to Duke, we saw what he was doing against like some of the Olympic team, and I was like, I mean,
this guy's
yeah.
nice.
I mean, you don't want to put too much hype around him, and I definitely won't go up to him and give him credit when I see him when I'm playing him.
Yeah, well, hopefully he comes to the Hawks. Who knows? I don't know how that would happen.
We play the same position. Why would you say that?
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. We don't want him coming to the Hawks. Yeah. I couldn't imagine like that situation, knowing like you're about to get drafted, and then he probably has a worry about going to certain teams. Like there's certain teams that are going to be at the top there that he's like, I don't want to go here.
Why?
I mean, I don't want to call teams out, but it's like,
you're an idiot.
Would you want to get drafted to the Wizards right now?
Right. It's an opportunity for you to build something around you and like prove to yourself that, okay, I'm good, but how can I make sure I'm good and everybody else good? Like that's the challenge that like competitors like thrive off of. Like you can't go there and be successful. That's like the guys that really tick, like and are like the best of all time. That's what makes them tick. Like you can't go there and make that happen.
I guess
rather than being like, oh, I don't want to be there. Like I don't want to be the number one pick and have everything drawn up for me because we suck.
I could see it because it's like it makes you think about Milwaukee. Milwaukee was trash until Giannis started playing really well.
Well, and he was like the 16th pick. It's like it was both like a perfect marriage. Like they were taking a chance on them. He didn't really, he built up what they had there. They won a championship.
I still like if it's Chicago or DC.
What?
If he had a choice of
because you're from Chicago.
No, it's a big city. It's a big market. There's a lot more opportunities there than in DC. You got to be honest.
How? When you're the fucking number one pick, there's opportunities fucking everywhere.
And there's more of them in Chicago than in DC. That is undeniable. You're going to say that DC...
because the Chicago Bulls are one of the first
Big Six
organizations.
And it's Chicago. It's a huge city. It's like the next New York. He could be the white Michael Jordan, which is like his coach. Speaking of... I tried to do these things.
White Mike, John Shire.
I was going to say like some racial thing. I'm not going to do it. So let's just move on. Somebody else who's been playing really well had a big 25-point game the other night. Ty Jerome. I know I've asked you this before, but like, when you start playing like this and you enter into free agency, does it get weird around the building? Is it like...
Oh, you think he's walking around there?
He's like, you motherfuckers can't afford me. Like, I know he's not like that. He would never. He's trying to win a championship.
Ty, get your man's,
no,
dog.
I'm not saying
first
like
Pinoy step, now this.
I'm just saying, like, first off, we love Ty. Ty's at front of the program, and he's obviously would never say this. He's a professional. He's trying to win. But I'm just saying, does it get a little awkward? You've done free agency before. Is it like a little bit weird? Like,
no, I don't think.
Do they not talk about it?
I don't think they're like. I think they're probably over there focused on how
like
to finish out this year. Yeah, there's no need to bring up that stuff. Obviously, the playoffs are going to be huge. I mean, even keep that team, together. I mean, they want to win championships over there. I think they made that clear at the trade deadline. Like they're like, we're good. We feel like we can get better, so we're going to continue to do that. So whatever looks like is going to help them get better, they're going to do. Or, because at the end of the day, you don't want to have a high tax bill and not win championships. I don't think Dan Gilbert is a fan of doing that.
I just, it's such a funny dynamic to be like, in that situation where I'm a free agent and I'm playing the best basketball of my career. Like, I just wonder if there's rumblings. Obviously,
that's why you have an agent
to let you.
They handle that. You just handle the basketball. They handle the off-court stuff. Sorry, guys. Kevin's real fucking new to this, and it's like.
Well, I think that's what we think about. That's what regular fans that aren't in the NBA think about. Is like, is this awkward?
Yeah, they're like, oh, I had 25 points. You motherfuckers better bring out the Brinks truck. Because I'm fucking balling.
Yeah, like I picture
that would be the way to.
Yeah, I'd be like, no.
Yeah,
I'd be walking like, that's another 25 at it.
You can't afford me.
That's hilarious. Okay, I want to get a side note here, a little bit away from the basketball. Did you see Brandon Jennings talking all that shit to Jeff Teague? What's your what's your take? Because I haven't asked you about this.
I'm just gonna tell you this. So Jeff Teague was like my vet in Indiana.
Oh, he was.
And like Jeff Teague is like stocky, strong, and I don't really know Brandon Jennings like that. Like you watch like this high school mixtapes and then like what he did in the NBA, and like I was younger, so it was like always impressive. But Jeff doesn't work out. He just plays one-on-one.
Yeah. Like
all day. Like he doesn't want to do the cross, blah, blah, blah. He just loves to hoop. He's a hooper. So Jeff Teague, I don't even know how he got caught in that crossfire. I don't know how Drew Holiday got, because Drew Holiday's still locking guys up. You know what I mean?
When I watch Drew Holiday play, I'm like, good God, this dude is strong.
But then you know what it is? It's on Gil's podcast, and I think Gil does a good job of like hyping, like, I'm with you. No, you can't beat him. Like,
he gets people talking shit a little bit.
But yeah, no, if that, I would put my own money on Jeff Teague to win that.
Yeah, because you just look at the body types, right? Like,
but actually, the crazy part is then you call out like a scoring god in Lou Will, like,
who is literally
like. I never
Lou Will's got some size
in
on
my
him too.
lifetime, in my 32 years of living. I never seen Lou Will dribble the ball in his left hand and then proceed to shoot and have it miss. Like if that's in his left hand,
it's going.
Yeah, bucket.
I would love to see that. Like I know there's talk about doing like a league where all these, like basically the big three, but one-on-one.
Oh, Michael Beasley in that. Lance Stevenson.
Shout out to Devontae Friga. I don't know if you follow him. You really should. He's a YouTube basketball creator, played Division III basketball, and now just basically travels the country doing like street ball stuff. But one of the things he's been doing is one-on-one leagues, and they're so fun to watch because they build it up like a UFC fight, basically.
Yeah, but sometimes like that shit gets fucking way out of hand. Like if you have someone in there that fucking thinks this is like, I'm here to beat someone up, like that, like
it becomes jail.
Yeah, that's like, trash. Like, I'm gonna throw you down. No, this is the principle of this. It's like, no, give me solid basketball, and this is about basketball. You win, you lose. It can be aggressive, it can be physical, but we don't need to be. Yeah, like we don't need to be. Not even a ref, because at that point, there's nothing to lose. Nobody's like.
Yeah, but still, you want to call it fair. If you're putting money up,
you can have a ref, but like as they call it, it's like that's how it goes. He made the call. That's it. We don't need to be tackling people.
Yeah. Mario Chalmers has been in some of this guy's videos, and he cooks everybody, obviously.
Yeah, I mean,
Mario, what are you doing?
Mario Chalmers is like
5-star Kansas NBA champion.
He won a national championship at Kansas, didn't he?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he won it or didn't, but he was there.
Yeah, they beat Memphis. I think it was his shot.
Oh, it was the one that beat him. And then he won one in Miami. No?
What? Yeah, come on.
Okay, we got to get to our top 5 here. And what sparked it is, again, LeBron today talking about Giannis. He's like, if you don't think Giannis could play in the 70s, like, are you kidding me? This guy's 7 foot and like the most athletic person ever.
Yeah.
Did you come up with the top 5 people that you would not, like from the past, that you would not want to guard? Like, is there
Larry Bird, for the simple fact that we're basically on our little shit talking kick here. Like when you hear stories where he was just like, hey, like, why is he on me?
Why is there a white guy?
Or like talking to the kid, like, does your coach not like you? Why? Because you're guarding me. Like,
like Dagger.
Yeah. So Larry Bird is definitely up there. Hakeem Olajuwon. Like people don't tell enough stories. And I was lucky enough to be coached by Sam Cassell, who played with Dream. And like you hear some of the stories that he tells about Dream, and like, Sam, just do this and we'll win. And it's just like, it's like impressive. And like
him slapping the shit out of Vern.
Yeah. What that motherfucker do? Stay slapped. And the funny part is like Sam Cassell is like the all-time storyteller, right? And we were actually in Cleveland. I was with Philly. We were playing in Cleveland, and I think I got out there and I like was guarding Kevin Love, and I let him get middle and score, and then I fouled someone, and then I missed a couple of shots, and I'm like, I came out, or like Doc Rivers took me out like earlier than my stint, which was just like, I was coming to the bench, and I'm like, Sam, like, like what happened? And he was like, And Sam's real chill. He has his glasses. He has the propped up seat. He's sitting there. He was like, George, there's 2 types of players in this league. Ones that get stops and ones that make shots, right? And I'm sitting right here, and he turns to me. He's like, I suggest you start making some shots, son. And it was just like, those are like the truth-telling moments that you enjoy because
it's a funny story.
Yeah, it's nothing personal.
Yeah.
It's like, but if you ain't helping me win out there, I can't have you out there. So, but I'll give you the blueprint on like what you need to do. But
I remember the first time we talked about basketball when we did the YouTube video 2 years ago, whatever it was. You were like, someone in Utah was like,
"Oh, Alex Jensen, just run to the corner."
Yeah, like by the way, and you got shit for saying that's where you're going to be in the corner, and everyone's like, "Well, that's what George does," and it's like, yeah, that's how he's made X amount of dollars in the NBA.
One doing it. Like,
Yes.
imagine if I just tried to ISO people and sure, you score a bunch of points and.
But it's because this guy was like, look, if you want to make it in this league, make shots from here. Just make the shot and then do your best on defense. Make sure people don't get around you. And it's like, that's what you've done. And now we are 10 years later, 11 years later, still doing it.
Oh, Isaiah Thomas.
Okay, what?
He's
Okay, so that's 3. Okay,
so Larry, Dream, Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, because on an island against Isaiah. That guy was fast.
Yeah.
Okay, you got
and
2
then
more.
like
I always think like Karl Malone is a huge.
Karl Malone is another one because that's like Steven Adams, but like as like scoring
Super
30 a night. I mean, Michael Jordan is he too prime time for that?
Obviously, yeah. I mean, that's a good one. I think of like you as a forward. I couldn't like you would have guarded Karl Malone. Like I could. Isn't that a crazy thing to think? Like that guy was a beast. He was 6'11".
Muscles were.
Okay, I was thinking we could do really quick when we to end here. We just give our quick picks of Sweet 16. So we won't do the second round.
Hit me with the game.
It's going to be quick. Okay, BYU, Alabama.
Honestly, I love how Alabama has been playing, but BYU shooting is something that scares me. But I'm going to go with Alabama because BYU just survived Wisconsin, and I wasn't.
I had Wisconsin in my Final Four.
I wasn't that high.
Wisconsin played really well at the end of the year. Tanji is a beast. They got some players over there.
Okay.
McGee is a little ox. Okay, so you got
Roll Tide.
Maryland, Florida, going to be fun. First off, was it a travel or was it not?
That was not a travel.
Okay, idiots. Yeah. It wasn't a travel.
He dribbled and put his left foot down at the same time.
Everyone's like, no such thing as gather step. Look up the rules in the NCAA. There's a gather step. He dribbled. He picked up the ball with his left hand, right foot down, 2 steps, shot. You're an idiot. Maryland, Florida.
Honestly, I like that young kid, but
yeah.
Did you see them? Florida is...
Dude, they're good.
They're dangerous.
Yes. I have them in the championship game. They are dangerous.
They are elite.
What I think is going to be the game of the evening on Thursday, Arizona, Duke.
Yeah, I got to see Arizona up close and personal. I think the show kind of ends there. I mean, I don't really see them having an answer for Cooper Flagg. And they
Shout out to Caleb Love. He's a good player.
They would need their guards to really put on another stellar performance, and I'm not so sure that happens. So I got Duke in that one.
I agree with you there. And then a really fun one that I think is upset alert: Arkansas, Texas Tech. Arkansas, Texas Tech.
I'm gonna have to. Coach Cal's on his revenge tour. As much as I am a guns up, or guns up guy.
I don't know what that is. Is that Texas
Guns
Tech?
Up, Texas? Yeah.
I guess they were Big 12.
Yeah, they were. I'm going to have to go Woo Pig Suey on that one.
Woo Pig Suey. Yeah, I think Arkansas is going to
Woo Pig.
That game. Okay. Friday, we have Ole Miss, Michigan State. This is an easy one for me. It's not even close.
Really?
Yes.
In Izzo, we trust.
Izzo had a great press conference where he was talking about, he's like, they asked him about NIL and players leaving. He's like, you want me to talk about something that's going to happen, something else? He's like, I asked these players to give me everything they have for the last 8 months. I'm worried about that. Just it made you want to run through a brick wall. Okay. Kentucky.
That's
Tennessee,
why he's elite. That's why he's been able to do it for so
Elite.
long. There was a time and period where they were like, if you commit to Michigan State and stay all 4 years, you will go to a Final Four at least one of those 4 years.
And he has gotten them there. I have him winning the whole thing. Kentucky, Tennessee. This is another one that's pretty easy for me.
Yeah, Rocky Top. What?
I think so too. I think Tennessee's going to win it.
Shout out Tobias. Tobias, you see?
He's a Tennessee guy, right?
I'm picking your squad. Yeah, he did a 6-month vacation. He did a 6-month vacation out there.
Okay, Michigan. Speaking of Tobias, Lou High, #1 team in the country, Long Island Lutheran, where he went. Carmelo Anthony's son's playing there. They're playing really well. #1 team in the country. Michigan, Auburn, another easy one for me.
Yeah, I really, want to gravitate towards, Michigan on this one, but I just think Bruce Pearl has those guys playing at a different level. He has them playing hard as shit.
Broom is a beast.
Yeah. What is that? War Damn Eagle.
War Damn Eagle is Auburn. You're good at all these. Yeah. Okay, and last but not least, Purdue versus Houston. See, I don't know.
Yeah,
You think Houston?
Yeah, I mean, Houston might have them in a torture chamber defensively.
I think that's one of those games.
You know what? I think
thinks,
it's Braden. Is it Braden Smith, the point guard?
Yeah, he's a beast.
He just finds a way to get stuff done. Yeah. You know what? I might sing a different tune. Go ahead. I'll go with the Boilermakers.
I think the Boilermakers could pull it off because everyone thinks they're not gonna. But Houston is. Yeah, that's gonna be a good game. Okay, those are our picks.
Do us all a favor, guys. Like, subscribe, follow the Bench Sheet Podcast. And if you haven't already signed up for MyBookie, listen to Kevin here.
Sign up for MyBookie. Use promo code GrillGuy. Also, I don't know if you saw it, I signed with Roback.
Let's go.
So they're not paying for this ad read, but shout out to Roback. But
yeah, shout out to Roback. They have a polo that's called the Iowan.
I'll get it for you. XL,
right?
right?
See that. Yeah. We might do that for the George Niang golf outing polo.
Yeah, we'll get that going. Sign up for MyBookie. MyBookie.com. Use promo code GrillGuy. Get half your deposit match up to $2,000. Put it on the Boilermakers.
Or Florida.
Or Florida.
The Gators. Go Gators.
Okay, guys. Peace.
Yep, we're out. Thank you.